Hey beautiful people, Tara Malarkey, founder of Seven Figure Femme and High Ticket Empress. Today I want to talk to you about what happens when you are building your business and you start hearing no a lot, or you're attracting the wrong people, and meaning the wrong people, meaning they're telling you they don't have the money to invest, or they need some time to think about it, or they'll come back later, okay? So to some degree, you're always going to hear that. You can't actually take that out of your business entirely. But I want to talk to you today about what that really means if you're hearing it all of the time, and then the things that you're doing that you really shouldn't do in response to that, okay? So let's start with the things that you're doing in response to that. If you're building a seven-figure coaching business, if that's what you want to build, is an online education business around your expertise, right? What you're probably doing, if you are trying to sell something, you're making some offers online, you're telling people to book calls, or you're giving them links to a sales page, and they're not buying, or you're hearing crickets, right? They're not taking you up on your offer. And they maybe, when you get on the phone with them, if you've gotten that far, they start telling you things like, I don't have that kind of money right now. Oh, that's too much for me. Let me think about it. Let me sleep on it. And you think, I'm only getting the wrong people. I'm attracting the wrong people, okay? So what do you do in response? Well, here's what you normally do in response. You start to, one, lower your price, right? You believe what they're saying, that it's too much. And I mean, believe me, we hear this from my High Ticket Empress, dozens and dozens of women, hundreds of women, in fact, inside of High Ticket Empress. And still there's moments of doubt, right? The moment they get a no on their sales calls, which is gonna happen, guys, you're not gonna sell 100% of your clients, but they make it mean something. And so they start to say, oh, maybe I should reduce the price because the people that I'm attracting are saying, no, they don't have the money. This is not what you want to do. Okay, so that's one thing you might be doing. The other thing is you might be increasing payment plans, right? You're like, okay, well, maybe if I made it easier for them and I made a $200 payment plan over the next 5 years, they'll be able to do it. And you don't want to do that either. Or then thirdly, one of the most common things is when you're trying to sell a high ticket program and you're not hearing yes as often as you would like, you create a brand new offer, right? You come up with a new program and you offer that to the people that said they didn't have the money. And you know what's going to happen? They're not going to invest in that either. And I know this only because I've been in this industry a long time. I didn't just start doing this. I've been coaching women for years and years and years, actually almost 10 years in my business. And so I see it all the time. They think, oh, that 5K program, I'm hearing no, and so people aren't going to buy it, and they just feel like it's too much. So why don't I create a $297 course and people will buy that? And they don't. That's what's crazy, right? And what's actually a really good thing, if you've had that happen, if you haven't, then just take this as a warning. Don't do that. But if you've had it happen, you know what I'm talking about. You thought the lower price was actually going to solve the problem, and it didn't. It did not. So what should you conclude from that? The pricing is not the problem. It's the way that you're messaging about what you do. It's your copywriting, we say. It's your marketing. It is not doing two things. And I'm going to explain what those two things are right now. So what you need to do is narrow in on a premium niche. And most of you, right, if you're not selling, you likely haven't decided or allowed yourself to be in one of those premium niches. Believe me, we hear it all the time inside of High Ticket Empress. When a new student comes in and I tell them what the premium niches are, they're like, but I don't want to be that person who sells that thing. There's already a lot of people who do that thing. I want to do something different. And being different is good. I'll get to that in the second part of number one. But actually, there really are 3 core human concerns psychologically on the planet that makes people buy. So this is buying behavior. It's based on psychology. And there's really 3 main areas of people's lives that cause them enough pain to make them take action and part with money, which is painful for anyone, right? Paying $5,000 or $10,000 for a coaching program is not easy. It is painful, but they have to have a pain that they need to get out of, and it needs to be now. And they have to have a clear vision of the future that they want, and they are just not available for anything else, right? So you have to target those people. So if you're not targeting a core main human concern, then guess what? People will feel like, oh, they don't need it right now. They'll do it later. It's like, okay, it's not a big deal. So that's why you're probably struggling. You have to target one of the 3 main core human concerns: health, wealth, relationships. Now, there are sub niches within that. And yes, you have to be more detailed than that. But if it is not solving a major problem in one of those niches, then you are going to hear crickets or people that don't want to buy or think it's too expensive. Okay? Money is just relative. People will pay for what they value, and what they value is getting themselves out of pain that is prominent right now, not pain in the future, now. Okay? So the second part of number 1 of being in one of the core human concern niches is that you do want to be innovative and figure out what is your new opportunity in the marketplace, meaning what is different about you? What do you really believe and stand for? Why do you believe that the way you do it is better than perhaps someone else who does it? Okay, so you have health coach A and health coach B. Health coach A, who helps people lose weight, they go the deprivation diet, super crazy workouts every day, whatever. And that's how they get their person results. But you, on the other hand, went through that, and you now believe that that's really not sustainable. People can't actually sustain that level of calorie deprivation and working out like that over time, or maybe women can't, right? Or you couldn't, and therefore you really believe there's a better way to get the weight loss, but that doesn't include those things. You believe that maybe it's a deeper issue. Maybe it's a nervous system thing. Maybe it's a neuroscience brain body thing. Maybe it's a trauma thing, right? So your ideal client still wants to lose weight, but they have already done the calorie deprivation and the extreme workouts, and it doesn't work for them. Maybe they yo-yo diet when they do that. And you're like, hey, I know, because I used to do that, and there's actually a better way. So that's where you're still in one of the main core human concerns, but you are being an innovator. You have something you really believe in to bring to the marketplace to teach people there's another way. And that will hit for a certain segment of that population. And it still meets a very core human need. Okay? It has to meet a need, and it has to be tangible. It has to be tangible. So weight loss is tangible. Chronic pain or getting someone out of chronic pain, tangible. Money is tangible. Career is tangible. Saving a marriage or getting into a relationship, tangible result. You have to be focusing on the tangible, guys. If you're not, it won't work. I promise you. And I'm sorry. And I know it sucks because you're like, I can help people feel better in the self-love and the spiritual and the blah, blah, blah. But like all that is good. And yes, you can teach that in your program and it will be part of your program, but people don't buy that. People do not buy that. There's a lot of reasons why, but one is because it's relative. It's immeasurable. You cannot put that in your hand and be like, oh, I accomplished self-love, because it's relative, right? So your client also knows that. They won't buy the self-love idea because they're like, but how can you promise me that I'll feel that way? And how would I know when I feel more self-love? And I don't even know what that is. But when you promise a tangible result, they're like, oh, I get that. I get where we're going. I get what you want. And that's what I want. I want the tangible result. We're also human beings. And no matter how spiritual you are, you want a tangible result. You want more money. You want a better career, or a career that makes more money, or a career where you have time and financial freedom. You want to be in your best body. I mean, who doesn't? Let's go, right? You want your marriage to be thriving, or if you're not in a marriage that's thriving, you want to be in a marriage that's thriving. So we are human. We want tangible things. Those are really important. So focus on one of them and provide a result there, okay? Okay, now the only other thing I want to mention here, guys, if you're hearing those things on sales calls or people are saying those to you, it means you're not hitting these points. And if you hit these points, I just had our client Soraya. She just came into High Ticket Empress 2 weeks ago. When she came to me, she was doing something like yoga therapy. I was like, dude, not a high ticket niche. Gave her some coaching. She was like, ooh. Like, this was hard, but she was super coachable. She shifted right away. She went out and sold $8,400 in coaching this past week because she was open to my coaching and she shifted her niche and then went out and sold. And that's what can happen, and it can happen really fast, guys. Really fast. The only thing that's standing in front of you selling high ticket and then scaling a high ticket program to 7 figures is you. So number 2 is speak only to the people who are ready right now. So if you're hearing, I need to think about it, I want to sleep on it, I don't know, maybe I'll get the money later, blah, 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 and there's no urgency, right? Then you're not speaking to the right candidate who needs to solve the problem right now. And there are a few ways, of course, I teach this in depth in High Ticket Empress. There are a few ways that you need to market this or talk about this in your marketing so that you draw out the people who need the solution right now. You do not want the people who want this solution theoretically in the future sometime, right? Because they're not going to buy right now and your business is going to flail. So you need to speak only to the people who are urgent and need the solution right now. Okay, so think about who needs this right now. Why are they at their wits' end with this problem right now? Why will this solution be the thing that really changes it for them right now? How can I convince them of that right now? Right now. So let me give you an example. The example I talked about before, Health Coach A and Health Coach B. Health Coach A could sell to anyone who hasn't done that before, hasn't done calorie deprivation and extreme workouts, right? Because that person doesn't have any problem with the way that they do it. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. Let me just do it that way. Okay? So if your new opportunity and what you believe in the marketplace and who you want to target is people who have already done that, but know that that doesn't work for them, but are urgently wanting to lose the weight or get into their ideal body or be healthier. You've created an urgency because there's a time element here. They have already tried a lot of things. And you're now speaking into going, yeah, I know you've tried a lot of things because you really want this solution. But those solutions, I know they didn't work for you. And that's because they're unsustainable. It's okay to, like, if you understand the way the brain and the body works, of course, that's what's going to happen, right? And you would speak into that and you'd say, but I have a long-term sustainable solution for you, actually, by this thing that I do. And this is speaking to your target customer. You know what they've already done and you know the solution they need now. And there's urgency to it because it's a tangible thing that they want to accomplish right now. So that's how you do that. And it's so powerful, guys. It's not even that complicated. Once you learn how to do this, you can do it well. And once you change your messaging, this is what Soraya, our client, said. Once she just shifted and started using what I teach, which is how to communicate her new opportunity in the core human concerns and then handle their objections within her marketing, that's when people started booking calls and buying right now. Okay. And she's in the relationship niche. She is not in a money niche. So it's a lot of people think that you can only sell high ticket if it's money. It's not that way. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.